it's Meg from walkingmoose.com, and I'm here to do my companion vlog on my podcast in which I discussed the writings of Barbara Mertz. Now remember, poor Mrs. Mertz was blessed with a rather unfortunate name, and so she wrote under two pseudonyms. Well, she actually wrote under her actual name, Barbara Mertz, and she wrote a couple of scholarly tomes about Egypt, about ancient Egypt. But she wrote, for good times, for funsies, she wrote under the pseudonyms Barbara Michaels and Elizabeth Peters. And I spoke about that in my most recent podcast. And so I went through all of my books here, my books on my bookshelf, and to find as many as I could that were Barbara Michaels and Elizabeth Peters. And I didn't come up with many, really. I didn't. And I don't know where they all went. I don't know if I gave them away or if I've just lost them or if they're still floating around somewhere. If you ever come to my house, there are books everywhere. They're stacked on chairs. They're in bookcases. They're just all over the place. But anyway, so we're going to work with what we've got here. So my four favorite Barbara Michael books, of course, I did not have them at all. I don't have copies of them at all. But if you listen to the podcast, my four favorite Barbara Michaels are Witch, Patriot's Dream, Be Buried in the Rain, and House of Many Shadows. And they're awesome. But I'm not going to rehash the whole podcast thing. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the ones that I have. And these are, like the B-sides. So these are the B-sides. I did mention this one, however, though. This is one of my all-time favorite, Elizabeth Peters. This is the first in the Vicky Bliss series. And Vicky Bliss is our heroine. She is an art historian, and she's gorgeous. She's lovely. She's centerfold type. She's very curvy, blah, blah, blah. And she's also very smart. But she feels like no one really takes her seriously because she's so beautiful. It's a tough problem to have. I would love to experience that problem at least for a while, see what that's like. But anyway, in this book, in Borrower of the Night, we discover that there is a missing piece of medieval art. I think it's wood. I can't actually remember, but I think it's wood. So anyway, she and her boyfriend find out that there's this missing piece of art in this German castle. And so they go over to Germany to see if they can find it. And the boyfriend challenges Vicky to see who can find it first. Is it going to be Vicky? Is it going to be him? And it's just a lot of fun. It's got a lot of puzzles. It's got a lot of passageways. There's sinister people in the castle. And it's super fun. Borrower of the Night. Top recommendation. So as we go down here, another one that I really enjoyed, which was also written under Elizabeth Peters, was The Murders of Richard III. And this is kind of a cosplay situation before we actually knew what cosplay was. And so there's a Richard III Society. I'll just read it to you. It said, in a remote English manner, modern admirers of the much maligned King Richard III are gathered for a grand weekend of dress up and make-believe murder. But the fun ends when the masquerade turns more sinister and deadly. Jacqueline Kirby, an American librarian on hand for the festivities, suddenly finds herself in the center of strange and dark doings. Let me tell you, this was a fun one. And what's very interesting about this book is that I loved it. I just loved it. I thought it was wonderful. I don't want to cover up the cover there. I gave it to my good friend and she couldn't stand it. And she was like, ick, don't ever give me another book again. So just be warned that Jacqueline Kirby, the librarian in this, can be a little snarky. She can be a little snarky, so she can be a little hard to take. But that was one of my all-time favorites. What else do I have here? Oh, I have Wait for What Will Come. This is Barbara Michaels. This is writing under Barbara Michaels, and this is a Gothic thriller. This one I thought was super fun. So this one is about a young woman. What is her name? Let's see, Carla. Her name is Carla. So Carla inherits this big mansion on the coast of the sea in Cornwall, England. And she, of course, goes there to take possession. Who wouldn't? But there's a long history of every 200 years, this demon, pictured here, comes up from the sea and absconds off with the lady of the manor, with the current woman owner of this manor. This one was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this. It was very atmospheric. It had a great little town setting, and she was learning all about the demon. Is he gonna come up there? Is it all hype? What's going on? Wonderful. If you can find this, wait for what will come. Or maybe don't wait for what will come. The Seventh Sinner. Now, the Seventh Sinner, one of my all-time faves. I'm sorry, I did mention it in the podcast. And I guess I billed this incorrectly. I do have some that I mentioned in the podcast. The Seventh Sinner is the first Jacqueline Kirby, the one that irritated my girlfriend. She's the first Jacqueline Kirby mystery, and it takes place in Rome. And it's about this group of people. I believe they were scholars. They were researching something, and they called themselves the Seven Sinners, related to the seven deadly sins. So they call themselves the Seven Sinners. And of course, somebody gets murdered. Somebody always does. Somebody gets murdered in Rome. And Jacqueline Kirby, who is not in the group of the Seven Sinners, she's sort of on the outside, she gets talked into trying to help find who the murderer is and everything. And that's a fantastic read. It takes place in Rome. I really enjoyed that one. What else do I have here? The Copenhagen collection. I read this, oh my gosh, this was ages ago. I should probably read it again because I'm not remembering the story. And I think that's gonna sort of be my hook as I do this vlog more and more, because I find that a lot of Gen Xers have the same problem I do. You know you've read it, and you even maybe have a feeling about I liked it or I didn't like it or something, but at the same time, it's completely gone out of your head. And I think it's because we've worked for so long and, you know, we've had relationships for so long, you know, kids, parents, whatever mix of it and everything like that. In our little brains, they just can't handle everything. So I'm going to read the back to this one. And then I'll tell you after I read the back if I remember it. A strange twist of fate brings Elizabeth Jones face to face with her idol, the brilliant, eccentric historian Margaret Rosenberg, at the Copenhagen airport. Even a stranger accident makes Elizabeth the esteemed scholar's new assistant. Well, that's a way to get a job, isn't it? But luck can go from good to bad in an instant, and less than 24 hours later, the great lady is kidnapped by persons unknown. Well, maybe she's out of a job now. Suddenly desperate in a foreign land, Elizabeth must cast her lot with Rosenberg's handsome, insufferable son in hopes of finding her vanished benefactor. On a trail that leads from modern wonders to ancient mystery, a determined young woman and an arrogant prince must uncover shocking secrets carefully guarded in the beautiful Danish city. And they must survive a mysterious affair that is turning darker and deadlier by the hour. Wow. I actually don't think I've read this because I don't remember anything turning darker and deadlier by the hour. I've cooked a few things like that, but I don't remember reading that. So, hey, and it's good. You know, it looks in good condition, so I may, you know, read that this summer. And then I'll let you know. Okay, Wings of the Falcon. Barbara Michaels. This is more of a traditional romance, like a historical romance. So the Falcon, this takes place in Italy, in the unification of Italy. And I don't know exactly when that was, but it wasn't recent. I'm thinking 18-ish, 17-ish. Somebody can look it up. I'm not going to. I don't have time. But anyway, she's there. There are no phones or cars, so it's got to be 18 or 17 something, right? I'm sorry, I make myself giggle. So there's the Falcon, who's kind of this renegade, almost a Robin Hood kind of figure, and she's of the wealthier class, and she's interacted with him a couple of times, and It's just a wonderful romance. Wings of the Falcon, excellent. Check it out. What else do I have here? Oh, The Dark on the Other Side. Now, this one I did talk about in my podcast. I just read this again a few months ago, and I remember when I first read it, I was a younger woman, not old. I was a younger woman, and I remember being so moved by the affair that the millionaire's wife had with the reporter, because you knew they really cared about each other and they really, needed each other to survive in all different areas. Not just the fact that the millionaire husband was suspected of turning into a big dog, a big werewolf dog. See, there he is in the window. Can you see him turning into the big werewolf dog? But it was just I just was swept away. Reading it in your 50s, it's kind of a different experience, but not bad. I mean, you're like, meh, I guess. I mean, if you want to go with him, and that's fine. But I'm sure you could have I would have just been tired at that point. She was a young woman. If this had been a 50-year-old, she would have been like, you're turning into a dog. Okay, whatever. As long as I have my Friday nights free, we can make it work. Okay, what else? What else do I have? I have two more. I have the Camelot Caper, which is they're chasing Arthurian legends in this one, and this is a lot of fun. This was read and reread several times. You can see that, and this is the Camelot Caper, and they're chasing. What are they chasing? Of course, I've forgotten it again. Is it the Holy Grail? I don't remember. But I did like it. And then this one, Grey Gallows. Oh, this is very traditional Gothic. She goes to the big house. It's Baron Clare. We're not sure if he's a good guy or if he's a bad guy. There's noises in the middle of the night, whispering around. Grey Gallows is the name of the house. Of course, the house has to have a name. And it's just dark and spooky and fun. And I hope I didn't rush through those too much. I didn't want to rush through them, but it's hotter than blue blazes today. I want to get this vlog done and put up because I'm having so much fun doing it. And I hope that you guys are having fun too. That's what the whole thing is about. So anyway, give me some love if you want to hit the subscribe button or give me a like, and I will catch you next time. And next time we may be talking Mary Stuart, or we may be talking haunted hotels. Which one? I haven't decided yet. All right. Check you later. Thanks for watching.